So I want to chat about really how you take your business to the next level. And I can promise you, because I have been there, when you start treating business like a business and when you start knowing your numbers, understanding your back office, understanding the compensation plan and how to maximize out bonuses, everything will change. Everything will change. And I remember the feeling of not understanding what Power of Three meant or what a fast start bonus was. I remember looking at my back office and going, this dashboard looks kind of self-explanatory, but the rest of it is like, right? I get it. I totally remember that. But I want to give you some tips and tricks that are actually super useful for you, okay? And I got my trusty whiteboard here, and I'm gonna show you some stuff in the process, okay? So the first thing I want you guys to do is to understand your back office, okay? So one of the key things is knowing that team tab, okay? So when you go to dashboard, you can see right there your overall volume. You can get a quick glimpse of your Power of Three, and I'll explain what Power of Three is in a minute. But when you go to the team tab, what I love to do is I just go to the little thing that says striking distance, okay? And that shows the information, and some people aren't building the business that are listed there, but most are if you're in the striking distance. And it's the striking distance percentage of how close you are to a rank. So you can change it to elite. You want to know if someone's 75% to elite, right? Because as your organization grows, right, and get in these habits now. If you're going to Lynn, I have, 10 people in my organization. Okay, well, if you have 10 people in your organization, you can probably just go to the graphic tree and hover over your people and be able to see stuff, right? But if you are continuing to be consistent in your business, I promise you, you're going to go from 10 to 100 to 1,000 before you know it. Okay. And when you're there, you're going to want these habits. Okay. And they will help you month after month after month. And I will share a Excel document that I use. It's a Google Doc that you can make a copy of your own and use it. And it already has the formulas in it to like pre-populate everything. I love charts. My brain works in charts. But especially when you're first getting started, or if you are a pen to paper person, get a whiteboard. Doesn't have to be a huge one like this one. And do yourself a favor and track your numbers daily. I start tracking mine starting on the 15th of the month. Okay. Particularly because most LRPs have gone through at this point. But if I know that either myself or someone on my team is looking to rank advance, I'm tracking from the word go. Okay. So understand your back office. You can either go to detailed genealogy or the graphic tree, or like I said, I like to go to striking distance and get a quick glimpse so that I can grab those OVs. You want the overall volumes, right? And then either you can put it into the Google Doc that I'm going to share, or you can put it on the whiteboard. The next piece is understanding your structure, okay? I like to coach people to automatically set yourself up for Premier and Gold, right? And again, it's only because I did do myself a favor and I set myself up for Silver. I was like 3 elites. Great. Well, an elite is 3,000 volume. It doesn't matter where it's placed. So when I helped 3 people get to elite, it then took me forever to get to gold, actually over a year, because we had to do some restructuring, right? Because I hadn't set those people up for Premier. I set them up for elite. And Premier is the very first rank where you need you plus 2 other people in order to get there, okay? I'm not even sure if you can see my little circles there, but you need you at 5,000 volume, and then you need 2,000 of the volume there, 2,000 of the volume there, and then another 1,000 wherever, right? So if you are setting yourself up for that, yeah, you can't really see those circles, but you get what I'm saying. If you set yourself up for that, then you're golden, like golden. Literally golden. So set yourself up for that when it comes to structure. When you're first getting started, either if you have someone right away that wants to join you, sweet, right? And just start funneling volume underneath of them. Or gift an account to somebody, or create a placeholder account that you will later fill with someone that does want to do this with you, right? But start funneling volume under two different legs, okay? It's the funnel dance, do it. And then understand when you're doing things, you know, if you're tracking your numbers, you'll understand when it comes to when you get to the leadership bonuses, right? Because once you're getting ready to hit Premier, that's when you start to get into a lot of the other bonuses, right? You get the empowerment bonus, which means if you enroll somebody with a 100 PV order and hit Premier in the same month, you get an extra $300 just because that happened, right? Same with Silver, you get the empowerment bonus. But then starting at Silver, you get leadership shares, and each leadership share is worth $150. So at Silver, you get one share, so you get an extra 150 US dollars. At Gold, you get 5 shares, so 750 US dollars. At Platinum, you get 10 shares, so an extra 1,500 US dollars. And then once you hit Diamond, you get moved into a whole new pool where the shares are worth about 1,500 each. And you get like 3 of them at Diamond, 5 of them at Diamond. You think I'd know? I don't really know. I just know you get a whole new different pool. Okay. And so that's where you want to understand, and I'm not going to, this video is not about the compensation plan. I will link up a video that you can watch on the compensation plan, but today I want to talk about structure, setting yourself up, and knowing where to find your volume, and then also how you can incentivize and have a little bit of volume strategy at the end of the day. Okay. So, because, you know, come the end of the month, or as you're kind of strategizing throughout your month, it's really important to understand the power of 3. And if you are in a space where you are either going to be, you have a choice of hitting gold or getting your 1,500 power of 3, I'm personally going to coach you to get your power of 3 because it's worth more money, right? This is about bringing your family, you know, health and wealth, and you know, if you have a choice of making $750 off that leadership pool or 1,500 from the power of 3, oh, I'm gonna go with that, right? I'd rather see you hit Silver and get your 1,500 power of 3. So I want to talk to you about how you get your power of 3. So first, get a whiteboard, or I'll link up an Excel document that you can use. But the key thing, let me get rid of that. What I want you to do, regardless of what, is I want you at the very top, I want you to write your goal, okay? This is so, so, so important. And particular if you are going to have a whiteboard up in your space, get your goal right on it, okay? So if your goal is Silver, write Silver equals, and then you can put 3 elites, but then put on there, what would it look like if you were earning the empowerment bonus every single month, which is 300 US dollars, and plus the leadership bonus, which is an extra $150. Plus, we're now going to set you up to get your 1,500 power of 3, which is an extra 1,500 US dollars. What would that look like if you were earning 1,500, 1,800, 2,000, an extra 2,000 US dollars every single month? What would that look like? What would that do for your home? What would that do for your lifestyle, right? And that's not even counting the commissions that you earn on top of those orders. Those are just leadership bonuses, right? So, no, thank you. No. So what would that look like, okay? And I want you to write that right on your board. And I want you to get really clear on Would that mean an extra vacation?
Got to make some.
Would that mean the renovation that you wanted to do? Would that mean that you get to retire from the job that you don't like? Would that mean that you get to stay home with your kids? Would that mean that, you know, whatever, I don't know, whatever that means to you, okay? But you have to understand that these bonuses, they happen every single month. It's not that you make that money once. You make it every single month. So you've got your goal up top, you've got what it means to you. And on my board, I actually have a picture of my family when we were at Disney, right? For us, it means, it's so much more than Disney. It's so much more than vacations. It's the lifestyle that it leads back to, right? So I want you to put a picture, get it in your face, okay? Then I want you to have your qualifiers here, okay? So like I mentioned, you're going to have one leg. You're going to start automatically with 2 different legs, okay? Because that's where you're going to start. You enroll somebody, you place one here. You enroll somebody, you place one here. You enroll somebody, you place one here. You enroll somebody, you place one here, right? And you're doing this, okay? Then you're going to, preferably, and like if you've watched the daily mentor calls, the goal is to keep all builders and sharers. This first line here, this is prime real estate, okay? This is your prime real estate. And if you're starting to build a placeholder leg, remember that eventually you're gonna put somebody into this position and that's their prime real estate, right? So, just randomly putting a bunch of people under here is not necessarily helpful either, okay? So you're going to get another spot right here, okay? So this is how your power of 3 works. When you plus 3 people put through 100 PV orders, okay? The overall volume between you and everybody on your front line has to be 600, okay? So it has to equal 600 volume in total. And then but 3 people have to have 100-point orders. 1 second, I'm just gonna ask you to be quiet. Girls, can I get you to shut the door for whatever you're doing? You're just being loud, please. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so they're being loud. I wonder where they get that from, right? Me. Okay, so you plus 3 people need to be putting through 100-point orders. So then all you have to do is duplicate that. This whole business is about duplication, okay? You then teach these 3 people how to get 3 people each, where that overall volume is 600, 600, 600, right? And they too have 3 people underneath of them. And when you help these 3 people earn their $50 bonus, that equals $250 for you, right? And then when they teach, or you teach, depending if it's your enrollment or not, these 3, 6, 9 people, how to get their $50 bonus, right? You then, your person gets $250 and you get $1,500, okay? So your first 3 lines, they matter. They matter. Who you're placing there matters, right? Because you don't want a customer to feel like they have to put through a 100-point order every single month, right? Because that's how you lose people on LRP very quickly, right? Customers are meant to be placed, 4th row down, right? If they're very clear, if they want to upgrade to a wellness advocate and build the business later, they can upgrade at 90 days. You can move them into one of these front 3 rows, right? You can always move them later. And again, that's a different video for a different time. There's a whole video on moves, okay? This one's strictly about how to maximize, okay? So on this board here, you want to be tracking your 3 people plus their 3 people. Okay, so on my board, I have like my 3 people, and then I just did like lines of their 3 people, right? Because I'm tracking I want to make sure these guys get to 5,000 overall volume, right? Particularly if I'm hitting Premier or above. And then I also want to make sure that their 3 people are getting to whatever rank I need them to be. If I want to hit silver, that means I need these guys to hit 3,000 volume. If I want to hit gold, that means my 3 have to hit 5,000, and 2 of their people on each leg have to hit 2,000 each. If I want to hit platinum, that means I need to create 3 silvers, which means 5,000 overall volume for my person, and their 3 people need to get to 3,000 volume, okay? And then with diamond, you're just adding another silver, right? So you're tracking your 3 people plus their 3 people. And then as people's LRPs process, right, which helps with power of 3, I just check it off. Check, 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 right? But every single day, guys, where focus goes, energy flows. I have so much focus on this board or on my Excel spreadsheet, like so much energy and love, and because the key is, guys, is recognizing that all of these people, all of these circles, they're actual people with actual feelings and things that they want, right? Oh, that's better. I should have had that on the whole time. These are real human beings, right? So we want to treat them like human beings and not just little stick people on our board. But you want to track your 3 people plus their 3 people and start checking it off and filling in the gaps. If you know where your people are, if you know you're 1 person away from getting your 250 power of 3, then the next person you enroll that wants to go on LRP or wants to share should go in that spot, right? Because you could be sitting there, have your 3 people be getting your $50 every single month, and that person has their 3 people, gets their $50, that person has their 3 people, gets their $50, and this person has 2 people and is just missing that 3rd person. Like, if you're not paying attention to that every single month, you're missing out on $250. And the same thing goes with 1,500, right? When you teach all of these people to get their $50, you're getting your 1,500, and you might just be 1 person away. And also, if you're not tracking it, you might have the structure set up, but then maybe everybody processes their order except for 2 people put through 80-point orders, right? So you top 1 person up by 20 and the other person up by 20. You invested 40 PV and got back 1,500, right? So this is where it's so important to track your numbers. And if it's not for the fact that you could be missing out on, yes, the whole reason we do this is to help people and serve people. But if you have a business or if you are working for somebody else, why do you go to work every day? You go to work to earn an income to live your life as well, right? Well, that's what this has the ability to do for you, right? And I can say, as a diamond leader, half of my paycheck comes from like the residual income piece of it with, all the people, but then half of it, which is like, say like 5,000 a month, comes from me making sure that I'm maximizing all of these different bonuses, right? Because that makes a big difference. So I want you guys to either invest in a whiteboard, and again, it doesn't have to be huge, or I'll start using the Excel document that I'm going to forward on to you if you really, really love Excel, and pay attention to your numbers, okay? Because I want you guys to have such success. And I think when you don't understand the compensation plan and you don't understand what tracking your numbers looks like, or if you're not focusing your energy on the goal, right? Your goal, it's not my goal, right? Then you're missing out on a huge opportunity. Okay. So say you know your numbers, you've nailed down your structure, you get how it works. What are some things that you can do so that you're not even topping up necessarily? Okay. Because the goal isn't that you're paying attention to everything. And if one person's lacking or if a leg is lacking, right, that you have to start throwing in volume, right? So say, because again, here we go. You could have, say you want this leg to get to silver, right? And so to get to silver, it needs 5,000 overall volume, and then we need 3,000 here, 3,000 here, and 3,000 here. Say this leg is at 3,000, we're good. This leg's at 3,000, and this leg is at 2,100. Okay, so we still need 900 volume in this leg to get it there. It doesn't mean, oh, I have to put in a 900 PV order, right? Let's talk about how you get creative, because I don't know about you, but I would way rather those oils be in the hands of my customers. Like, yeah, it's not bad to top up because you'll use those things. It's like buying extra BOGOs, right? You'll use those things for sampling and living the lifestyle, so then you can teach about it, right? Like there's nothing wrong with having extras, right? Or you can do giveaways in your community. However, I would rather my customers have those things, okay? So when I'm looking at my volume, say I need 900 volume in one leg, first thing that I'll do is I will use it as an opportunity to spoil my customers, okay? And through Messenger and email and text, I will send out messages to everybody specifically in that leg, okay? Only in that leg. And I will say to them, at the end of the month, I hand select a few customers to absolutely spoil. You have been chosen this month. If you want to take advantage of this, all you have to do is log into your account, place at least 100 PV order, and I will gift you with $50 in free oils, okay? I specifically say $50, not 50 PV, because obviously with some oils, the dollar for PV doesn't quite match, right? So I will gift you with $50 for free. What you have to do, because I don't want everybody to take advantage of it, right? Because I only need 900 PV. So say I send it out to 20 people. If 20 people take advantage of it, then that kind of discounts it, right? So I say to them, you have to respond to this message first, because it's a limited time. There's only a few spots available. So you have to respond to this text or email or however I sent it out to them to make sure it's still available first. Then all you have to do, log in, place 100 or 150 PV, whatever I want them, and then I will e-transfer you $50. I do it that way. So A, it's organic volume, right? And B, like organic volume, meaning I didn't put any through on my credit card because doTERRA can track that stuff, right? But then also I e-transfer them rather than ordering it in myself, because then I have to pay shipping and all that kind of stuff. They may as well just order it one big thing. You pay for shipping once, it's all good, right? And I honestly, if I don't have to send stuff through the mail, I prefer not to, right? So that's what I do. I would love to just gift my customers. And guys, I can either, this is just quick math, I can either top up 900 PV, or I could get 6 customers, right, to put through 100 or 100 PV, 50 PV orders, okay? I've reached the 900, and instead of spending 900 PV, I've only spent $300, right? Because all 3 of them, or all 6 of them, got $50. Does that make sense? So I'm spending less and I'm actually gifting them, right? So maybe they ordered an oil that they would have never ordered before, right? So that's one of my first things that I do. If you are if you're needing to get creative further, guys, dive into your shares, okay? And you know who your shares are because you can look in your back office through your detailed genealogy and you can see who has been ordering a ton of oils every single month. Okay, they might not admit that they're sharing doTERRA because they don't want you to ask them to do the business, but they may be the office guy who's like, everybody tells them every month, like, hey, Julie, have you put through your LRP this month? I need an On Guard and a lavender, right? Julie's that guy. Or even if so, like those are the people. If they're ordering more than 200 PV every single month, you need to be reaching out to them to see, to just say, hey, like, notice that you're ordering a ton of oils. Thanks for sharing the oily love. I'm assuming that those aren't all for you. And then what I like to do with them is gift them with more oils. So I will reach out to the sharers and just say, you know what? I totally appreciate that you are hooking everybody you love up with essential oils. If you can hook people up with 200 PV more oils, I will gift you with $100, right? Or I will gift you with whatever I need in there, right? But I will connect them with sorry, not $100, 100 PV. Okay. And it's during that time that then I'll use like points that I've accumulated or oils that I have on hand, right? I can give those away too. But I'll say if you sell 200 PV worth, I will give you 100 PV for free, right? Awesome. And if it's not one that I have on hand or if they live further away, I'll ship it right from doTERRA. I'll order it through my account, use my points, ship it right from doTERRA. But then it gives them, you're like sampling the business with them too, right? And then if you have more seasoned oilers, right? So if you've been, doing this business for a little bit, you're probably not interested in getting more essential oils like maybe your shares are. But any business person is interested in financial bonuses, like guaranteed every single time. So you could even, if you are trying to, if you're trying to hit silver, right? And you're wanting to help people give some motivation to get to elite. You can say, when you get to elite, I will give you 50 PV for free, or I will give you $50, or whatever you decide, right? But you have to always first know through tracking your numbers, how much money, and knowing your compensation plan, how much money you're going to earn, and then how much of that commission you are willing to put back in to incentivize either your customers or your shares or your builders. Okay. But I would rather put the oils in my customers' pockets. I would rather put money into my builders' pockets in order to get there versus just do a buy-in, right? So, really that's my main message. It's know your numbers, understand the compensation plan. I will link videos up. I will link up how you can get this on through a Google Doc as well. And then just understand what your business is, right? Like, is this a business for you or is this a hobby, right? Because you cannot expect to be, hitting ranks like Premier and Silver and Gold, or earning 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,000 every year if this is a hobby. And if this is a hobby, you're not tracking your numbers. If this is a hobby, you aren't looking to do things like wellness consults and, to increase your retention, or you're not having classes, and that's okay. That's okay. Cool. You do you. I just like to always make sure that everybody understands the expectation, right? Because I see it where some people have the expectation of going big, and I see myself doing all this stuff. Well, there's a difference between seeing yourself doing it and then actually doing it, right? And such a key part of taking this from a hobby to a business is not just doing the income producing activities, but tracking your numbers and understanding your numbers. Like if you walked into any business or corporation, your CEO, which you're the CEO of your own company, your CEO of whatever, I know the CEO of the hospital I used to work at, they knew their numbers. They knew how much money the hospital was given from the government. They knew how much money each department was spending, and they would be able to pull up charts and data and all this stuff. Well, your doTERRA back office gives you all of that stuff. It does. It gives you everything. You just got to use it, right? And then while you're tracking your numbers, you'll learn to pay attention to things like, gosh, this person's been doing the business for a while, or maybe it's you. Maybe you're like, I've been doing this business for a while, and I want to identify the bottlenecks in my business. Okay. Are you attracting people into your business, right? If you're not attracting leaders in, start to look at why, right? It might be, do you not talk about the business? If you're not talking about the business, people aren't going to join you in it, right? Do you have blocks up against talking about the business, right? Are you making this look hard, right? When you teach a class, is it 2 hours long and super complicated, or are you using all the sciencey jargon and just making this look difficult to where people go, oh, I can't do what she does. I can't do what he does, right? Or are you, are you warm and bright and chipper, or are you not? Where people go, oh, I don't think I really just want to build a business with them, right? Because the people you choose for those front 3 lines, those are your people for life. They are your life partners. Okay. So understand that. Okay. And, when you're looking at your numbers, you'll look at, gosh, my retention's gone down, or people have been dropping off LRP. And then as a business owner, you kind of go, how do I fix that? Right? Okay. Do I need to do some more education? Do I need to do a sample challenge? There's tons of things that you can do to raise your retention, right? And you can make those decisions. Are you attracting people that enroll other people, or are you attracting people that don't, right? And again, it shows you what you need to work on. And even if you only have one person right now, right, that's doing this with you, but the second you have someone doing this with you, yes, the work is on them to do, but it's also up to you to do the work on you so that you can lead by example, right? So those are all key things. And guys, they come from tracking your numbers. Know it. Know that back office inside and out. And I will do a screen share at some other day and show you a few tools too. And if you have any questions, comment, okay? And I will point you in the right direction. Have an awesome